is the Vintage RPG Podcast, your source for the best in classic and contemporary RPGs. With your hosts, Hambone and Stu.
Welcome to the Vintage RPG Podcast, coming at you again from the clubhouse, hidden somewhere in the swamps of New Jersey. I'm John Hambone McGuire, and I definitely have a cold, if you can't already tell.
Wow.
Right? And with me, as always, is the founder and publisher of Unwinnable. He keeps his mold next to his spore collection, Stu Horvath.
I guess I'm going to do most of the talking today, huh?
Yeah, maybe. You never know.
You're halfway between, like, Tom Waits and, like, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, it's like, we're all as mad as hatters here, you know. The cream of the crop, rise to the top. Ooh, yeah. And that's actually just what my voice sounds like right now.
Well, we know how you're feeling. So, before we get into everything, me and Sarah had the radio show last week, very last minute, last Tuesday.
Nice.
It was good, but I had to cancel my D&D game. And I said as a mea culpa that I would, shout them out on the air. And then I completely forgot about it.
Yeah, I'll do it. It's like you're a volunteer firefighter with this radio gig. It's like, oh, nothing's happening. It's like, put on your boots. Shit's on fire.
It's extra crazy this time because I was in New Jersey, but Sarah was not. They were stuck in St. Louis. They had been at a convention and their flights got canceled. So like they got home yesterday. Kenny emailed me at 7:00 in the morning and we put this whole thing together and I canceled my game. But because Sarah is, I'm just a bimbo, man. I just show up and I talk about like the stuff that I'm supposed to talk about. And then my brain turns off. Like the idea of starting the show, I can't do that. It's very hard for me to like, well, hello, everyone who's listening. So like that kind of was in my head. And because I was so like concerned about like running the show, that kind of stuff that, okay, well, now it's time to do the station announcement. That's why I lost that. And it was in my notes, but I just missed it. So I just want to shout everybody out now and say, thank you for your patience.
Hey, man. And now the audience knows how the sausage gets made. Now you all know that Stu's been the arm candy for 8 years.
I mean, yeah, I have absolutely no technical skill. Don't want it. Feel like I would just make a mess of it. It's all good. Oh, and one other thing that I'll mention this again next week, but I will be on a panel at Gen Con this year.
Oh, nice.
John Peterson invited me for to be on the RuneQuest 50th anniversary panel. So that's
very nice.
That's Thursday at 4. I don't know the hall number or anything, but there's only 100 spots. So look it up. It's 1 hour of a 2-hour thing. So get your tickets.
So do you have to sit there for the other hour, just like quietly holding your hands, or like?
No, I could like slip away.
They're going to rotate you in and out. That's cool. Now, folks, fun fact. I don't, obviously I'd like to believe that you're all listening every week, but last year, Stu had quite the kerfuffle getting back from Gen Con. So now you got hip to it and you're like, nah, I got a better way. You're taking the train both ways, right?
I'm taking the train both ways. Yeah. So if somehow y'all missed it, last year I was in the airport hotel the entire trip, and as crappy as that hotel was, the happy thing that I was looking forward to the entire trip was the fact that on Sunday I could just wake up, get on my early ass flight, and like with as little friction as possible and just get home. And of course, all of that went swimmingly well until I got to the airport and my flight was canceled. And then I had like many hours to kill before. I actually didn't sleep that well that night. And I had like 8 hours before I decided to take a bus home. And it was an 18-hour bus ride. I walked through Penn Station the other day, going to our friend Ian's wedding. And I had been through Penn Station. The last time I was through Penn Station was when I came back on the bus. I had a whole bunch of like very uncomfortable flashback reactions to being in that space. So this time I got a train. The downside of the train sounds super comfortable and I'm really excited about it. I hope there's no vampires on it.
I was going to say, you're riding the train as Agatha Christie intended it, comfortably until the drama happens.
Yeah. And it's a 24-hour train ride basically. But it starts very early in Newark, I have to be there at 7, which means I have to be up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I could do that. That's no big deal. And then
For
you get
those
off.
listening, Newark is like 7 minutes from where we live.
Yeah, yeah. And then I get in, I think, at 10 on Thursday. I'm rolling right into the from the train to the convention. Then I have to leave Saturday night at midnight to come home. So I don't really care about the last day of the show anyway, as I was leaving on Sunday last time anyway. But it feels a little weird to be like I'm going to be at the bar sipping whiskey and be like, well, I must catch my train, sir. Yeah. Fare thee well.
It's funny that like in all the years I've ever gone to conventions, like Sunday is like the down day. Sunday's like the day that like people who couldn't get there all weekend kind of dip in for a little bit. And the people who are there vending wish that they could have gone home on Saturday night, like because they're the ones that are left. It's like this is like the stuff that's left over.
The vibe on the show floor at 4 o'clock on Saturday was of just sheer exhaustion and wanting to go home.
Yeah,
it was, and like I like that vibe. It's like the end of the war kind of thing. Like we've all been through the ringer, but then to actually have to go back on Sunday would have been brutal. I'm glad, even though I had to take a bus, I'm glad that I left when I did.
It's definitely a funny thing where it's like, God, it really would be nice to go and have a nice sit down dinner and talk to people. But like, you know what else is cool? Wendy's and not standing anywhere. So yeah. All right. We've been just jibber jabbering.
Yeah. So I got 2 mold. Yes. So I got some miniature stuff again. I'm back on my miniature BS. Never left. Jamie over at Strange Attractor was like, did you buy this? And he sent me a link to a book called Mold. And I had not bought this, but I immediately did buy it because, God, it's just so cool. It's a collection of miniatures that are, I don't want to say painted, because he does so much more to them. Nick Boreli kit bashes and modifies the heck out of these things. I believe his Instagram handle is at mold. So you can go look it up. The book was inexpensive, like $30 maybe. It's a cool little book. It's compact, really beautifully photographed. There's a section where he works through his process, and then there's lots of really nice photographs in photographed in limbo, cut out and just like floating.
Oh yeah, these are great.
But they're horrible little miniatures. I showed it to my wife Daisy, and she's just like, I'm not really into art like this. And I was just like, but you called it art. And that's really cool. Like, because I think everything's art, but like, I don't think of miniatures really as like reflexively as art. But that's what she called it immediately upon looking at the pictures, was just like, well, this guy's an artist, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now because it's at mold on Instagram. It is art. It is in a lot of ways very much in line with like kind of what you'd imagine seeing in like RPGs, but also at the same time, like it's gross, it's hideous. It's kind of like, oh, Pinhead talking about pleasures of the flesh. And then suddenly you actually like see what Pinhead's pleasures of the flesh are. And you're like, yeah, that's not really the party I wanted to go to, but like in miniature form, like they're really, really great stuff.
Seeing it all in, page after page, you really get a sense of his artistic tics and obsessions. Like lots of long legs, lots of things that look fungal, lots of really strange. And when I say fungal, I don't mean just like, oh, like that stuff that's on your bread, which there's a little bit of that too. Like he's got a lot of that texture that looks very much like bread mold, but also just like strange structures that like you could picture being in, a fungal growth in some strange underground cavern. And like, he's like got lots of rats with ears growing out of their backs and lots of like animal heads put in strange places. He's got like this warrior goose that's pretty hilarious. It looks like maybe the legs are some sort of satyr or minotaur model, and the upper body too. It's got a big biceps and he's holding a gigantic axe. But then there's this big Canada goose head coming out of the neck, and the caption says, "Canada geese are vicious monsters." So I think this guy would be a formidable foe on the battlefield.
Listen. Let me tell you something. I don't know if anyone here watches Letterkenny. Letterkenny. Oh my God, I can't even speak. If you ever watch Letterkenny, there is an episode where Wayne and the gang find out that someone is messing with Canada's geese at a golf course, and they go absolutely nuts trying to, protect the sanctity of Canada's goose. That's Canada's goose. I if you've never watched the show, there's clips of it. You could just type in Letterkenny. My God, man. You can type in Letterkenny Canada's Goose. And it's delightful. I really did enjoy Leonard Kennedy. I got to stop, man. I did enjoy that friggin' show. Very much so. But yeah, the Canada's Goose episode is pretty fucking great. Yeah, but go on. Canada's Goose, kit bashing. And honestly, like I up until Stu started like really painting and getting into minis, minis was like completely like outside of my realm concept to me. But if you're looking to really understand what kit bashing is, this at Mold is a beautiful example of it.
He's so good at it. I can't imagine doing it. Like I can't imagine like how he starts or how he approaches these things, because there's like regular old minis under most of these things, or they're pieces that are fashioned together, and like it's wild to me that he can push them so far that they are unrecognizable as from their
completely. And it's a different type of artistry. Like, trust me, I think that anyone who could just basically like sit down and hold their hand steady enough to paint a mini baseline, no matter how good objectively it comes out, that's talent. That takes a lot of like mental energy and a lot of skill. The people who go and they're like, oh, and I'm gonna like spend hours getting really good at this, and they paint these minis, you're like, damn, did that come from the factory like that? That is very like a higher level of talent, because it's the work you've invested in it. Right. But to conceptually look at a mini that looks pretty cool as is, and then go, yeah, I could build around this. I'm going to take it from this and I'm going to turn it into something completely unrecognizable. It's kind of like, film effects. Like, I'm going to turn this person into a monster. It's like, okay. Yeah. And then you're like, well, that Gill man doesn't look like Jimmy anymore at all. I wouldn't be able to pick him out in the police lineup. Like, no, this is such a, like, to me, a very high level of artistry when it comes to adapting miniatures into art.
Yeah, no, it really is well said. You could find the book on Peow2, PEOW2, and there'll be a link in the show notes. It's worth it. It's got one of the strangest bindings I've ever encountered in a book, which I don't know if is that a weird thing to say? Like, oh, Stu, you take note of bindings. But as soon as I opened this thing up, I was like, what the heck is this? It's sort of like a Coptic binding, which is when you leave the spine unfinished. It's just like it's sort of glue and string, and you can see it there. It's adorable binding, and it usually opens flat. This is like that, but they've somehow covered the spine area so that they can have the title on there. And then the boards are sort of the front and back are laid on top. It's odd. I don't dislike it. I've just never seen it.
But do you think that oddness really does like aesthetically line up with the idea of what the interior of the book is all about?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it like makes the whole act of holding the book different than traditional books. So I don't think it leans into the moldy, but it definitely leans into the strangeness of the work. It's cool. Also, I got a Kickstarter the other day, and
yeah, you did.
It's called From Tabletop Cowboy. That's the studio name for Roger Porter, who's in our Discord, who's I think his brain's going to explode when he hears this episode. He did a fantastic little zine game last year called Drunk Cowboy, where basically you have two cowboy miniatures on the table, and like you roll randomly for like what they're drunk. So you roll randomly for their positioning and their movement, and then they shoot, and you're trying to kill each other, but like you have no control over your tactics. It's all random, which I think is just absolutely hilarious.
That is funny as shit.
Yeah, for like a 25-minute game, yeah, absolutely. Like what a fantastically stupid thing to do for 25 minutes. I love it. So he upped the ante with Drunk Jousting.
No.
Yeah. So it's exactly what you think it is. There's also special effects where there's apple eating in between the rounds, where you get special powers. Your horse can get special powers. Both you and your horse can eat them, so you can have conflicting powers. The whole thing is the same. And there's also like the jousting fence in the middle. It's very quick, simple. The Kickstarter came with two fantastic miniatures that Roger painted for me. They're designed by Jaycee Fairclough or Claw. They're great. Knights in armor, and they somehow, even though they're just standing there, they look inebriated. The one knight has a pair of bloomers on his lance as like a flag, which is my favorite.
Oh God, that's great. That is so great.
It's fun. It's great. You can check it out on Tabletop Cowboy. I do want to mention the funniest thing. I haven't, like, literally this came like yesterday. So again, flying by the seat. We did this with Midnight of the Century, but like I'm just amused by it that I had to bring it right on the show. But my favorite page is and it mixes a graphic design sense that's very much like maximalist in that Merkborg kind of way, but filtered through the sort of style of medieval illuminated manuscripts and tapestries. And it's really brightly colored and it works really well. So good job on that too. But I just want to read you the death rules. Death is not the end. If your knight dies, he's not off the hook. Your squires prop him up on his horse and lash him down, pointing a lance in the general direction of his opponent. You can still attack and defend as usual, but you don't get to eat an apple because you're dead. But your horse still does. And no additional victory points can be scored. Your knight may only roll on the inebriated chart at this point. Your knight must say their famous last words, and the opponent must agree that the famous last words are awesome. Huzzah.
See, this is why I love tabletop RPGs and zine culture.
Yep.
And all this stuff. Like, it's, give me the weird, man.
Yep.
Give me the weird. Like, you're thinking, like, you know what? You could put it over the plate. You could have ascending armor class or Thaco and whatever else you want, but like, this is just so outside the box and weird, and it's just conceptually fun. Like, that's the kind of thing that excites me about playing stuff. Like, and listen, you might only get to play it once, but man, that time that you play it is gonna be awesome.
Right. For all the problems that I think that the crowdfunding model has brought to the hobby, like, it really does facilitate little games like this, and they are the real catnip of the hobby, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, as someone whose business, like everybody else in the hobby, solely relies on the kindness of backers on crowdfunding platforms. Like, it's good to see that, people who, and I've been doing this now 5 years, who just, are just still taking chances on weird stuff, especially with like the economy being what it is. The fact that people are like, oh man, that's cool. Yeah. I liken it to being like, you hear about a cool indie band, and you're like, yeah, you know what, I'll check it out. And then you check it out, and you're like, fuck, I'm so glad I checked that band out. And like, you got to see that specific show.
Yep.
Because in a world of ephemera, it's so important to still live and experience things in person, live, like, doing it. Whether you're even like doing it over Discord or something like that, but like, it's so easy to swipe life by you with your thumbs that now, like, going and doing something like this is pretty friggin' fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, I also asked the Discord at the very last minute for some questions, because I was just like, somebody asked a question somewhere else. We were trying to figure out the first RPG that was one creator, solo creator, total package, did all the art, design, and whatnot. And I don't think we've come up with a satisfactory answer to that, but it put me in the mind of answering questions. So I just put a thing in the Discord. It was just like, hey, ask us questions. So I have a bunch of questions from our Discord folks. I thought we could rifle through.
Let's do it.
All right. So Justin asks, what's Hambone's favorite game he's run or played in the last year?
Oh, wow, that's a good one. I didn't expect people were going to get me questions too. This is neat. The last real fun one that went off the rails. I ran WHPA for people, and for a game that's meant to be kind of weird and out there, like, giving players the opportunity to be weird and out there means they will go really out there. and you know what? It's fun to play like a non-D&D-esque game, because even though, like, yes, an RPG is something where, players can they have the agency to do the things they want to do, and like they're going to take you in places where you really didn't think they're going to end up going. There's still a certain air of, all right, like, they're going to take you off the rails, but like, you still know the neighborhood. you know. WHP is not like that. And, you know, sometimes they go in a completely other direction than you're expecting. And you're like, well, shit, now I got to figure this out. Because it becomes suddenly uncharted territory. So that was a blast for me to run. One of the most fun games I played in was Justin Soroy's Severed Books. I played in the Sickest Witch game, which is something he launched. I don't even know what time is anymore with Kickstarters and backer kits and shit. But I think at some point this year he launched it, and I got to play in the system. It was super fun. It was a weird game. It was a game that it got dark. Oh boy, it got dark because it's a Borg-esque game, and it felt like just such a kind of like a revelation as what a more traditional style TTRPG like fantasy could feel like and could play like. So I highly recommend The Sickest Witch. Conceptually, just amazing. But yeah, that was the game I had, I think, the most fun playing in.
All right. What is your favorite Ministry album? That's from Brian.
That's for you, right?
It's for both of us. You didn't specify. Mine's With Sympathy. It's like by like a country mile.
Yeah, I don't really, I don't really know offhand. Ministry is not a band I got like super into. Like I know the hits, but I would say I would pass on that question because I'm not I'm not going to Google it fast enough to have a solid answer for you.
Yeah, I like With Sympathy because for years it was the one that Uncle Al didn't like. It was like the 80s new wave album where he sings like clean vocals. And I actually think it's super catchy for what it is.
Hey man, even Uncle Al tried to make a buck back in the 80s.
Right. Let's see. When Jer is my current age, how do you want the hobby to look for him? That's from Connor. Jeez.
Did Connor say what his current age is?
No. When he's my current age. So when Jer is 45, what do I hope that? I hope that. I hope that. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what next year is going to look like. I hope that Hasbro is a smoking crater in the ground, that D&D has been freed to Creative Commons, and that he's wrapping up his 25-year Land of Eam campaign. I think that's a pretty good.
I feel like that's a great answer. Shit, because he's what, going to be 8?
Yeah.
So that's like 40. We'll just say 40. Make it nice
40 years
for me. It's like 40 years from now. I mean, I would hope that people are still getting together in real life and playing with their friends.
Yeah.
And I would hope that the hobby was strong enough that not everybody was reliant on crowdfunding to make the things. I hope that the hobby was the diversity in the hobby continues to get even more diverse. And that more people who, may not have gotten a fair shake or a swing at bat get their time at the plate.
Yep.
Fuck yeah, man. I can't even imagine what 6 months is going to look like from now. 40 years. Just, you know what? I'm hoping for the future. I'm hoping that it's the thing where a young Superboy goes away with the Legion of Superheroes to the 30th century and comes back and in a time of crisis, he's like, don't worry, guys. It ends up chill. I'm just, that's all I can ask for at this point.
All right, let's see. Oh my God, there's so many questions. Really, people really delivered. We're gonna have to save some of these questions for next time.
Sure.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could roll a save against death?
Oh, he'd be chucking for his life.
That's from Silvartas. I don't have a good answer, but I liked reading it out loud.
I did too. He'd be chucking for his life, and I think that if the woodchuck didn't die, the woodchuck would definitely be. Chucking more efficiently, chucking more in a way that's environmentally conscious, and chucking with a renewed sense of joy.
I think that the savvy GM would lie about the roll for the save against death, because I think that if he did kill the woodchuck who was chucking wood so frantically, that his players would probably revolt, and that'd be the end of the campaign. So I think that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Tree falling in the woods. No one hears it. Did it happen? I don't know.
All right. We got Kyle asking, what's the most intriguing, novel, innovative, whatever RPG resolution mechanic?
Ooh,
Kyle coming to us from the WHPA Discord. I like that. Yeah. Crossover. I'll go with my old favorite. I think that it's just brilliant and never has really been rivaled. I think that the Vices and Virtues mechanic in Pendragon is just like an amazing system. It shows your character's personality in a way that's both comprehensible and not limiting to role play. But if you stray outside of their established patterns of behavior, which get changed depending on how you act in the game, you could roll that and be compelled to act against your interests. I don't know if that technically counts as a resolution mechanic, but it's one that I think about all the time. So
for me, it's not an RPG, but I think the throwing a burrito at your friend and throw burrito is the most interesting resolution mechanic that I can think of off the top of my head. I don't own the game, but every time I'm in like a store that has it, I pick it up and I'm like, is this worth the gag? You know, because essentially, like I don't even fully understand it, but at some point, like to finish the job and to win, you have to throw a Nerf burrito at your friend, and they can dodge, they can duck. But if you hit your friend with the burrito, like you win or something. I don't even know, and maybe it's the sickness that is soaking my brain in cheese. But yeah, throwing a burrito at your friend, that seems like a pretty good mechanic to me.
That showed up once. I don't remember who brought it to the clubhouse, but I was just like, nope, we're not playing that in here.
Nope. Hell no.
No way, no how.
Yeah.
All right.
Get yourself uninvited real quick, dog.
This is from Levi. The D12 is the best die. What's the worst die?
So
there's a lot of ways to go with this.
I know everyone knee jerk is going to say the D4, right? Mm-hmm. Because the D4 it's so hard to pick up. It's going to be the worst if you step on it.
There's all the questions about how to read it. Like, is it on the bottom? Is it the top? Like,
you know, and granted, while a D6, you have some with pips, you have some with numbers. Like, there is an actual. This is how a D6 is. Like the D4, there's no uniformity where they place the numbers. It's pretty friggin' annoying. However, the cool pivot on that is, Ghost Free Hood did a D420. And I bought a bunch of them back when they did the crowdfunding campaign for it. And it is pretty cool because it is a D20 that it's just 1 to 4 repeated over and over again.
Right.
So it becomes kind of joyous to roll a D4 because you can it rolls so much better because it's a friggin' D20. And you can pick it up and you have kind of like a better idea of like what it's actually rolling to, and it looks cool. And there's ones that like glow in the dark, but I don't know if they have any left, but I would check out their website, which is cherrymothcake.com. Nick DeFabio is the person who was one of the ones who created it. Insane artist. So even if you don't find that D420, there is such cool art for you to check out, and it's at Ghost Free Hood. And I'm going to spell it because obviously I sound like I'm mashing words together like Letterkenny, whatever. Ghost, GHOSTFREEHOOD, Ghost Free Hood, definitely worth checking out. So yeah, the D420 was pretty awesome, but I will say, and it's not for any other reason than it's just I hate the D5. The D5 it's just so deformed and like and it just, and the D3, just use a D6. You know? But yeah, the D5, the D3, the D5, the D7, fuck the D7. Fuck anything outside like the standard like polyhedral set, like until you start getting into like even ones like D14, D16, D24, D30. Like that's fine. They roll the way they're supposed to roll, but like, 3, 5, 7, 9, not in this house, Jack.
So I would have to go with the D2 because that's a coin, and coins are money, and money is the root of all evil.
Damn, son. That's one. That is a better answer than mine. Right on. So concise.
All right, we're going to do one more. I'm going to skim around. This is from Lord Abdul. Favorite super detailed encyclopedic game setting?
Oh. Whoa.
The funny thing is that you would think that like encyclopedic implies large implies that like not everybody has a lot of time, so there must not be that many of them, but there actually are quite a few. I probably would have to go with RuneQuest. I think that there's something about the lore in RuneQuest that's unparalleled, especially having written, spent the last several months writing this monster book and reading so much mythology and seeing how mythology just doesn't make conventional sense and how it layers stories that are often contradictory, and it tells the same story in different ways with different meanings. RuneQuest is very interested in mythology and that kind of storytelling, and it pulls it off in a way that I find really compelling and just interesting and rich. And I think that it's developed very nicely over the years through different hands of all people who really have understood sort of that core notions. It's really consistent over time. So I think that RuneQuest Glorantha would have to be my favorite on that score.
Right on, man. I mean, that works for me, and I feel like that is a good time to go home on this episode.
Yeah, we'll keep. I'm gonna copy all these questions into a file, and then we'll work through each and every one of them. I promise.
Yeah, I like this. I like answering questions at the end of a show. I like it better if I didn't sound like I had smoked all the Marlboros while I was waiting to watch Oprah. Alex is gonna be like, "What the hell happened to you, Hambone?" Well, I got sick, man. I got sick. But this is another amazing episode of the Vintage RPG Podcast. Stu, where can people find you on the internet?
They can find me on vintagerpg.com. There's lots of posts about role-playing games. Go check it out. And like I said, I'll be at Gen Con. So you could see me in public. I'll be haunting the MIT Press table booth and hopefully helping them sell books.
Will you have copies of Monsters, Aliens, Holes in the Ground?
We have 20 copies, just 20. There's not many left in the world that aren't bought. We don't have a ton. But also, John Peterson's Plague at the World Part 2 is out. A bunch of stuff. Lots of good books. So come buy them.
Well, two things, man. One, congratulations on being almost completely sold out of Monsters, Aliens, and Holes in the Ground. Because there really isn't many out there. Like, every time I'm in a bookstore, I take a little looky-loo, and I don't ever see any copies. So good on you for that, man. Also, how funny is that MIT has, like, the two RPG historians just hanging out, chilling. It's like, oh, yeah, come talk to the guys that know about a thing or two.
Noah, my editor over there, Noah, is on his game. What can I say?
That's it. Yeah. You can find me across the internet at John McGuire RPG and at hamandeggpublishing.com. When you hear this episode, if you are still within the month of July 2025, there is 1 day left to back Days of Future Fairhaven. We successfully funded it in 3 hours, which I cannot say thank you enough for everyone who's backed it so far. It's something I'm really proud of because I am really happy to be writing a third-party compatible adventure for WHPA Fairhaven, which is the game that got me back into actually playing RPGs instead of just writing them. I'm proud to be working with my buddy Levi. I'm proud to have created like a really beautiful, heartfelt story that is still fucking weird as the day is long, and will be super fun for people to play. And it's my first time, like, I mean, I did lay out crowdfund your fucking life. I was flying by the seat of my pants and in a rage because of the state of the world when I put it out for free. But this is the first time I'm actually laying out a full book. I've been teaching myself how to use Affinity, buying fonts and like page textures and a bunch of stuff. So like this is my first time like really going for it and betting on myself to like actually make a book from soup to nuts. So yeah, if you don't mind, man, check it out. It's going to be a blast. The story's done. It's being edited. I did all the pre-layout work. I'm actually just in the process of like once it gets edited, dropping stuff in there, commissioning more art, and unlike most of our books that take a full year to turn around when it comes to like 3-2-1 RPG, because we go deep with the stuff that we put in these books. This one's a little quickie koala saying, "Hey guys, buy my book." So yeah, you got 1 day left, man. Put us up, keep us rocking, keep us rolling. Back Days of Future Fairhaven on Backer Kit. And if I said Kickstarter before, I'm so sick. I meant Backer Kit. If you like the show, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Your reviews really do help other listeners to find us. If you really like the show, why not become a patron? Patreon.com/vintagerpg. Got a behind the scenes look at some stuff. We have a killer Discord community. that is truly an oasis. It's especially my oasis from the world, where I can still talk to people who are like groovy and like walk away feeling good about it. At the $5 tier, you can get it on my monthly game. The $10 tier, you get it on the West Marches campaign and my monthly game. And my monthly game is I just kind of run whatever, usually stuff we talk about on the show. And you get early release episodes sometime between Friday and Sunday morning, depending on when we record them in the week. Patreon.com/vintagerpg. And in the words of the great Detective Columbo, just one more thing. The D&D 20-Sided Tavern is on tour. It is going on a nationwide tour. Alex is going to be out and about in the world. I went to the Tales from the Tavern, I guess like a week before we recorded this. It was an absolute blast. So if it's coming to a town near you, I cannot stress to you enough, take a chance, go see a live show. You won't regret it. It's an absolute blast. Alex is out there on the road. Say hi to Alex and tell him thank you for making Hambone sound good. Sometimes I feel like I'm just talking into space. So for Stu Horvath, I'm John Hambone McGuire. May the dice always roll in your favor. Take care. Thanks for listening. The Vintage RPG Podcast is a ham-fisted production. Music by Dead Go West. Art by Schaefer Brown. Edited by R. Alex Murray. Check us out at vintagerpg.com.